For about 7 or 8 years, the little tavern had been kept by a man and his wife, with 2 servants, a chambermaid named Trinette, and a hostler named Picot. This small staff was quite equal to all the requirements, for a canal between Beaucaire and Aigues-Mortes had revolutionized transportation by substituting boats for the cart and the stagecoach. And, as though to add to the daily misery which this prosperous canal inflicted upon the unfortunate innkeeper, whose utter ruin it was fast accomplishing, it was situated between the Rhone, from which it had had its source, and the post road it had depleted. Not 100 steps from the inn, of which we had been given a brief but faithful description. The innkeeper himself was a man of 40 to 45 years of age, tall, strong, and bony, a perfect specimen of the natives of those southern latitudes. He had dark, sparkling, and deep-set eyes, hooked nose, and teeth white as those of a carnivorous animal. His hair, like his beard, which he wore under his chin, was thick and curly, and in spite of his age but slightly interspersed with a few silvery threads. His naturally dark complexion had assumed a still further shade of brown from the habit the unfortunate man had acquired of stationing himself from morning till eve at the threshold of his door, on the lookout for guests who seldom came. Yet there he stood, day after day, exposed to the meridional rays of a burning sun, with no other protection for his head than a red handkerchief twisted around it, after the manner of the Spanish muleteers. This man was our old acquaintance, Gaspard Caderousse. Welcome back, both you, the listener, but also Caderousse. Caderousse? Okay, listen, this has been haunting me since those early chapters. The pronunciation of Caderousse. Caderousse? I think it's called Caderousse. I used to call him Caderousse. Maybe Freudian slip, thinking he was a bit of a cad and overemphasizing the cad in his name, Caderousse. Is it? And I also listen, I understand. It's been inconsistent, okay? I think I've called him Caderousse, Caderousse. I believe, since I've been haunted by this, I looked up some pronunciations, and of course there are some slight variations, but the one that seems to be most consistent is Caderousse. Caderousse. So I'm just going to try to do that one moving forward, okay? So, hopefully that discrepancy in pronunciation isn't going to keep you from listening to the show. But now, okay, we have a little bit of context, as we had setting yesterday, today more setting, but also a update on an old character after all these years. We've been following Dante, but now we get a look at one of the people on Dante's hit list, I think, maybe. I mean, revenge list. Let's call it that, because that feels a little less taboo. Caderousse is now an innkeeper down in the south of France, and Dumas goes to some great lengths to announce him as unfortunate. You know, he even calls him the unfortunate man, and that he's the innkeeper of this inn that I'm kind of like, it reminds me of, oh boy, I'm just saying this because it's still spooky season while I'm recording this, but it reminds me of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This is the gas station that, or the Bates Motel even. This is one of those places that used to thrive, but now has been all but dried up due to traffic being taken away, you know, by the highway in Bates Motel, or just economically in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Here, saying that this used to have boats go by, and now it's the cart and stagecoach, and that those now take a post road instead of the Rhone, which is a river that used to bring all of the people. So, like, this doesn't say the Rhone has dried up, but in my brain, I'm just picturing this dusty landscape, tumbleweeds going by, and Caderousse, you know, standing out there like he's looking at the gas pumps, hoping that somebody's going to come by. This is an inn, not a gas station. This is 1844. There aren't gas stations yet, but you know what I mean. I'm just making an analogy here. So it seems that despite having, you know, some servants, it says his wife is here. We were shocked many chapters ago to learn that Caderousse had a Caderousse. I'm going to catch myself. just bear with me, had a wife. Now he has two servants, Trinette and Pecot. Now, I don't remember having much of a mental impression of what Caderousse looked like in those early chapters. I guess my imagination painted him out in a certain way due to him being a tailor and kind of lording his position from like lower class to almost emerging to middle class over Dante and Daddy Dante. But yeah, I guess there wasn't much of a physical description of him outside of the dark hair, which literally every character had. In my brain, I kind of painted him out almost as like an Orson Welles figure. I don't know why. But here, yeah, that's not the case at all. Now that he's 40 to 45 years of age, again, just pick a fucking age, Dumas. Tall, strong, and bony, a perfect specimen of those in the southern latitudes. So he had deep-set eyes and teeth as wide as those as a carnivorous animal. He's got some salt and pepper hair going on. I picture also it saying that he stayed at the threshold of his door looking out for guests and that his skin had browned because of it. And I just kind of picture the kind of craggly and cracked skin and wrinkles surrounding his face as he is looking at the horizon waiting for people to come day in and day out. A sort of like Charles Bronson vibe. Anyway, should we worry for Caderousse? I got it that time. Should we worry for Caderousse? What's going to happen with him? Why are we being introduced to him? And should we be concerned for him for Dante's wrath? I guess there's only one way to find out, and that's to continue here tomorrow with more of the Count of Monte Cristo. You know where to find me, right here. Okay, goodbye. The Countdown of Monte Cristo is part of the Gruntwork Podcast Network. This show is produced, edited, and hosted by Landon Solano. The original text of The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas. Theme song by Magic Solo. If you want to support the show and others like it, visit patreon.com/gruntworkpod. Thank you for listening. See you tomorrow.